or farro? Farro or barley? When you're making a grain bowl, that's one of the fun things. There are so many options, and I didn't even include quinoa in one of my choice, or as one of my choices. But I do think today we're gonna go ahead and use some farro for our grain bowl. We're gonna put some tomatoes, once again with the cucumbers, a little red onion. We're gonna throw some garbanzo beans in there. I can never pass up an opportunity to throw olives into anything. Then we're gonna top it with some feta cheese, hit it with some lemon. Oh, and I forgot, one of my favorite things to put into a grain bowl is parsley. And this is a neat little tip or trick. If you want to go ahead and make a note to keep your herbs fresh, you can go ahead and put them in some water, put a plastic bag over them, and they'll stay fresh in the fridge. So you can increase their longevity and add them to your grain bowl. Great, so let's go ahead and get started. So our farro is done now, and we just cooked it according to the instructions on the package. So it was a cup of grain with a cup and a half of water. We brought it to a simmer and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. So this is good to go now. Yeah, so you just want to follow the instructions on the package based on how much you want to make and how many servings of the entire grain bowl you want to have. All right, so now it's time to combine everything. And I didn't really follow a strict recipe when making this grain bowl, nor really any other grain bowls I make, because I find the beauty of the grain bowl to be do what you want, right? And build it the way you like it. So I will share though that it turned out for me this time to be about a cup and a half of cucumber, about a cup of tomato. So we're gonna go ahead and add that to the bowl. And then I love olives, so this looks to be about a quarter of a cup of olives. You can dial that back, right? They add a nice naturally salty flavor, but you might not like that. This household loves parsley, so this is about a half a cup of parsley if you packed it in there. And then as I chopped up the red onion, I realized, again, for my family, this is probably gonna be too much red onion. So instead of putting what looks to be about a half a cup of red onion, I'm just gonna put about a quarter of a cup in, and that'll probably be enough for this household's liking. These handy dandy juicers are handy. I just like to squirt a little lemon juice on top. Gives it a really nice flavor. About 2 tablespoons of that. And similarly, we're gonna add some olive oil. And that's also to your liking as well. If you don't like lemon juice, you don't have to put it in there. Oh yeah, the garbanzo beans, right? That's an integral part of this grain bowl's success. And then of course my friend feta cheese, which is probably one of my favorite cheeses. I'm gonna try not to go overboard with it now though. And I'll probably put in, I don't know, maybe about a half a cup, maybe a little more. But again, that's where you also, yeah, this is not a half a cup, that's about a cup, if we're being honest. But again, that also adds a nice naturally salty taste, so you might not have to actually add salt to taste. And then, like I said, we've got our olive oil right here, so we'll go about 2 times around, which turns out to be about 2 tablespoons, but you can dial that back if you want, or omit it. If you don't like olive oil or you don't like lemon juice, you don't have to put it on there. So we'll go ahead and stir it up, and then we'll give it a try. So I think it's just about top notch for my liking, but my director behind the camera just hollered at me to add a little bit of balsamic. So we're gonna go ahead and do that in honor of our director. We're just gonna put a cap full in because it doesn't really need much, but sometimes balsamic really adds that great flavor. All right, we'll go ahead and stir that up again. And after we stir it up this time, my favorite thing to do with grain bowls is let them sit for a half hour at least. You can put a cover on it, put it in the fridge. This is probably gonna be awesome tomorrow once all those flavors mix together. But yeah, you go ahead and build your grain bowl the way you want. Make sure you're getting all those vegetables in there. Pick a good base, pick some good proteins. That looks like it's about 4 servings too, so it's a nice big large batch meal prep. And you can also, once again, probably what we'll do is wind up throwing this over some greens or some spinach or some arugula to add even more vegetables. So I encourage you to do that as well. All right, enjoy your grain bowls.